Yeah.
Whole story. All right.
Yeah, like I know. I know it's like
grab your
hard to-
tissues.
right?
So in 2023, one of my twin boys was diagnosed with cancer.
All right, aloha, and welcome back to The Price for Paradise. My name's Woody, aka Creston Woods, and with me today, we're bringing on my man Josh Acosta. He's a new trainer over here at Elevate Fitness, but he's been in the industry for a long, long time. We're gonna get into his story, and I actually don't know him that well. I met him through his wife, Felicia, and she was asking me if we had any spots open over here at Elevate, and I was like, "Oh yeah."
I think this is
sick.
like our second conversation we've ever had.
Yeah, for real. Like,
But,
yeah.
I mean, that's our industry.
And our industry, I mean, like, he's out busy working, I'm out busy working, so, you know, it is what it is. And that's actually why I wanted him to come on, is I can actually, like, really sit down with him and get his whole story and understand, like, what he's all about and stuff like that. So, yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
Oh, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so first and foremost, like, where are you from? What got you, like, are you Arizona, you know?
No, so I actually, I have my exercise science degree down in Eugene, Oregon, so I'm a Northwest boy.
Oh, yeah,
I
okay.
went to high school and college out in Oregon. Ended up moving up to Portland, where I was actually intern at the Nike World headquarters up there.
Oh, sick.
So I was able to train under Alex Molden, who's a Saints player, University of Oregon player, and he kind of took me underneath his wing, and I kind of went from there, being sports performance.
Epic mentor right
Yeah,
there. Like, you know, from the start, that's like the best.
From the start, I definitely got lucky with that one. Super blessed for that.
And so you've been doing this like your whole life. Like, this
Yeah,
is like,
yeah,
this is kind of like what you've lived through.
Year 12.
Year
You know,
12.
so
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much, almost half my life.
And then did you play sports before in like college?
I played high school and college basketball.
Okay, basketball player.
Yeah,
oh, nice.
I'm a basketball
Okay,
player.
cool.
When I was smaller.
I was gonna say.
I was definitely a lot
position?
smaller. I was shooting guard.
Shooting guard.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
cool.
I played college ball. I was a walk-on, so it was kind of
Where'd
one
you
of those
play
things. Northwest Christian University down
Oh,
in
nice.
Eugene, Oregon. So small NAIA. But I tell my clients this too, like, hey, listen, college ball is college ball.
It doesn't matter. It's another higher level than it's better than playing rec league. It's more competitive. I've always been like that person, like when I play rec league games where I play too hard and everyone's like, dude, why are you trying so hard? And I'm like, well, like, I don't know how to not. I'm competitive. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, exactly. And so, like, why wouldn't you play NAIA?
Yeah.
Those are some of the best leagues
Because
they're really
was.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
too.
awesome.
And so you played basketball, and then like after that, what spurred your interest in like going deep into the fitness industry?
I knew I wasn't gonna go play pro.
Yeah,
Okay. I was too small. Being a shooting guard at 5'10", buck 60 pounds. That I'm not gonna go pro. My oldest brother played pro for about 9 years, and I just knew that I didn't have what he had. Again, he was 6'2", 6'3", so he had the height on me, but.
This is like the one sport where genetics plays like the most factor. Like, I don't like to say that there's like a genetic factor in anything, but when it comes to basketball, there's a height factor. And I mean, you see Wemby right now in like the final, like it's just like, oh my gosh.
He just makes it look too easy.
Yeah.
Too easy.
They
But
can't block him. Yeah.
He's crushing it. So I ended up playing ball, knew I wasn't going to go play pro. So I was like, you know what? I want to help other athletes get to that point, to be able to get into college, even though they didn't think that they would.
Yeah.
Like with me, mine was I ended up being a walk-on 3 weeks before school started. And I wasn't going to do anything. I was just going to go play ball at a local community college, and just go play there. But I was like, you know what? Let's just go attempt and let's see,
try out for the team.
and I ended
Why
up
not?
being a walk-on and playing through there, and just kind of helping athletes understand that, hey, it's more than just ball. Like,
It's life lessons. It's discipline.
100%.
I mean, it's the routines of getting up early and like learning how to work out and like doing all these things that like progress like your knowledge about how you live your life, right? Like, sports is one of the best structures, right? Like, if you didn't go to the army or you didn't go to something there, like sports is that structure system, right?
Yeah.
And so so you're a sports guy first, right? And then you
Sports
go
guy
into
first, yeah.
and then you go into the fitness industry. So tell us like kind of like what you specialize in, like what you do, like overarching.
I am
like,
my biggest forte was strength conditioning for athlete specific. So when I was at the Nike World headquarters, I met a few Seattle Seahawks players, and they actually helped me open up my first gym in Seattle.
Oh, sick.
So I had a strength conditioning program where athletes would come all over the country, come train with me, and they would just come work out, and they would go their separate ways. You know, I had all my pros that would come in during their off season. I had some that would come in during in season, but I would have to close down the gym because of contracts and stuff. We couldn't have pictures.
Yeah, you weren't allowed to see anything like that.
It was difficult, but it definitely opened up doors for me to be able to open up, you know, more gyms. So I ended up having 3 gyms back in Washington, all at one time. And
what was the name?
So one was Serious About Fitness. So it was kind of like a open training facility. So I had a trainer on duty. People would come in, get their butt kicked, and leave. And that's all that it was. It didn't rent it out. It wasn't an open gym. You would come in, kind of like a
preset, like the trainer was ready to go. Okay,
exactly. So we had it all written out. People would come in 5-6 days a week, get their butts kicked, change their lives. The other one was a strength and conditioning, and that's where I had a lot of trainers coming in using the equipment that we had for their
like kind of what we
athletes.
do here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then the other one ended up being a baseball training facility.
Oh, sick! I'm a baseball player, so you know, like I love that stuff.
Yeah,
and
so we created batting cages. We had pitching mounds. We had pretty much everything. Just kind of people get their hits in, kind of get their pitching done. Ended up turning it into a traveling baseball team as well. So somebody took it over.
Sweet.
Used it as a baseball traveling team, and I was like, you don't need me here anymore.
Yeah, right.
That was it, and it's kind of left from there. So.
And along the way, learning from those 3, you know, styles and different, is there like any key takeaways? Can you tell me from each one that you kind of like learned the lesson from? Because like they're all very different, and like, you know, I'm sure you ran into like little hitches here and there on each.
My Serious About Fitness, I feel they were more serious.
Literally, like, you know,
than my pro athletes.
Nice. Well, I mean, yeah.
100%.
Now, getting the athlete to be, you know, on board is very hard to teach. Yeah,
it was like trying to get my toddler to put his shoes on. You know, it's like, hey, like they would cancel on me so many times because they have so much money, and they would pay, and they would just cancel, or they just like no show. I'm like, dude, what's going on? Oh, sorry, you know, I woke up late.
It's literal rich kid syndrome. Like, how do you teach a rich kid like how to have work ethic or do stuff without like making them earn it, right? And so like they just have been given this exorbitant amount of money, and then now it's like live your life.
I specifically remember one of my Seahawk players. I was like, dude, you just signed a $120 million contract, and you're not going to come in for stretch. Like, this is your job.
Like, yeah, you should be taking care of your body
better.
Like it's the best. Like
exactly.
It's like, you know, your baby,
out,
right?
You know, partying, and you know, like it's so great. You're celebrating. Love it. Cool.
You should.
I was
rejoice.
there with you.
You know,
I was there with you at dinner celebrating.
Yeah.
But guess what? I had a client at 6 a.m. and I was there.
Yeah.
You know, and you're not. And then I'd have my people waiting on me, waiting to open up the doors at my 5 a.m. clients at my other gym. You know, trainers would be like, dude, there's already a line. I was like, yeah, I know. They all work for Microsoft. They have work to do.
They're dialed on their routine rituals.
Exactly.
They're like they're great clients, you know, like those guys are where we need, right? Like we love that.
To be a minute late, I'm telling you, do not be a minute late.
Yes.
Like
nice.
these people love it. They thrive off this because they're sitting at a desk for the rest of the day. They're stressed about having to deal with a multi-million-dollar contract overseas. Like if they don't get it, guess what? That's their job on the line. And that was kind of my biggest, like, I loved training my Microsoft executives and
way
Amazon,
better clients, right?
All those people, just like the normal Joe Schmo clients that would come
coachable,
in.
right?
Exactly. And I still talk to them. Like I still have quite a few of them. They still follow me on Instagram. They still check up on me.
That's awesome.
We still have conversations. Yeah, our political views may not, you know, match.
Align, whatever.
That's why we're friends still. Because we can look past that type of stuff and be like, hey, listen,
I respect you in this realm. This is your thing, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah. And they understand they got help from you and it worked.
Yep.
Right. And then how do you motivate an athlete? Like, what do you do? Like, so when you get this guy, he's like not doing his workouts, he's not going there. Like, what do you do to get him, you know, going?
It depends on the person.
Yeah.
Right. So I had my college kids were obviously more motivated because they wanted to go pro. Or
they're not.
They could lose their scholarship.
Yeah,
some of these players,
their livelihood before you get paid to do it.
I didn't come in here to do ball slams. You know, I'm pretty sure my job's not on the line.
Yeah,
you know, type of thing. But it was more of like each individual person was different.
So how do you the perspective shift that needs to happen, right?
Exactly. So each sport, surprisingly, was even different. So So I found out that my NFL players were the most laziest. Baseball players were actually my most wanting, like had that hunger. because it's a little easier, to
Yeah.
be cut in baseball. And I think a lot of them understood that.
But the movement patterns are so much more complex in baseball,
Yep.
whereas like football and like some of the other, like you're just running, like learning how to run, directionally is really important too.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, but rotational athletes, there's like a different beast there too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, okay, so it just depends on the sport, depends on the athlete.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, cool. And then the last, gym, what did you learn from that one?
I feel like that one was just more fun. It was kids.
Yeah, the baseball, like you're like bringing on like a team community.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it was 6U, 7U, 8U. So it was just cool seeing the kids there doing
and
their
like
thing.
developing them over years.
Exactly. And like actually watching them, seeing that number on the pitching, clock, seeing, hey man, dude, you're doing great. Like I remember when you were throwing 50 miles an hour, now you're trying to break 90. Like
crazy.
When?
Yeah,
like,
right.
When did this happen? But like seeing them grow.
Yeah, and
still love the game after this many years was what that facility was for, to making sure that parents weren't just dropping their kids off at daycare.
It was a good environment to let them grow and cultivate that like love for the game, right?
And like that's one reason why I don't want my kid to play organized sports until, he understands like, hey, this isn't just like love seeing on Instagram, their kids are playing and they're all going to the ball and doing the thing. But I know that my son, he's 5, but kid's already hitting dingers. He's already golfing, hitting crazy shots. He's throwing spirals. Like he's a born athlete, which
when you have a trainer parents, like it's just like they're like training him from the beginning.
Like to watch
really
this
good
kid grow in the athletics.
And probably super coordinated.
And like we went to go watch some kids play. And he was just like kind of like soaking it in because he's never actually seen kids play.
Like other kids his age and like compared for a second, and he's realizing he's like much more advanced than they are. Like
he'll like lean over and be like, hey, he can't do that. Like, yeah, you're right. The kid, you can't travel. Good job, bud. And I just give him knuckles, and he'd be like, hey, why did they do that? And I was like, he's not supposed to. He's like, okay.
It gets like people are making mistakes a lot now.
Exactly.
He sees that.
And that's what I want to do is teach him. I feel bad, sometimes because people are like, oh, why don't you let him have fun? I was like, he is having fun.
He's enjoying that.
We have
he likes to know.
Turn. Like we're in our backyard. I'm setting up the balls for him. He's hitting them over our walls. I don't know how many bags of wiffle balls I've had to buy for him.
Yeah. And
how many golf balls I've had to buy for him that we had to go buy a batting net. And he's only 5.
And like when you start putting him into sports, like with a kid like this, this is where you have that choice to put him up in like years and like, going ahead, because like you learn a lot more from those kids that are a little bit more developed, right? And so you want to put him with better competition, but like if he's better than his age group, he's not going to go anywhere like ahead, right? And
we made that decision to hold him back. So he's in preschool because he just turned 5.
So he's gonna be an old kid in the grade, and then you're gonna play him up.
Yep, exactly.
So smart. Yeah. That's exactly how you need to do it.
So
okay.
He's gonna be in kindergarten. 6 years old. He's gonna be the oldest, but he's gonna be playing with 3rd graders. He's gonna be playing with 2nd graders, and so on and so forth until baseball. I don't want him to be like school baseball for me isn't much important. School basketball is not gonna be important. It's gonna be like what he does outside of school. He's just using what he learns to practice, and adjusting from there. And I never had that. I played AAU, which is it's way different than it is now.
Club baseball or club whatever. Yeah, like everything now is crazy.
And I played AAU for a team where I was the only non-black kid on the team because I grew up in DC. So it was kind of like I wanted to play for this team because they were good. But living in Baltimore, there's not really many. So I was kind of like the cast out, even though I'm Colombian. It was like I was the only non-black team, but it was fun.
Yeah.
And we were able to travel all over the country to play, and it was just a blast. But having my mom be like, yeah, like we'll put you up, even though my mom has no clue about sports. 0. It was just kind of those things where like my brother picked it up, I picked it up, we just went on with it.
Yeah.
And he ended up playing pro. Good for him. But it was kind of
younger brother, older brother? Older brother. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
He ended up playing for Maryland, got ACC Player of the Year, played for like 9 different teams, and ended up having a career-ending surgery on his knee. In the league, if you have like a 3 surgeries, you're out type of thing. So he just had, he had bone spurs. He had like just problems that you can't really fix. It just happens over time.
Yeah.
He was older.
Oh, and you're going to a high level athlete. Like, I mean, you can only last so long in the sports,
exactly.
Living that way.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, cool. And so that's like what you've came from, and then now, like, where are you bringing it to?
I am out of retirement. So
yeah, I saw that on one of your posts, and I was like, I'm coming out of retirement.
Yeah, so I ended up selling everything before COVID. I ended up moving to Colorado where I met my wife. And then she was like, hey, I hate it here. Can I move to Arizona? I said, I've never been there. So I ended up moving out here, and getting back into the training industry is just something I never thought I would, be chilling. My wife decided to start nursing school. So it's kind of messed things up financially for us a little bit. So I was like, you know what? Let's just get into what I know I'm good and what I love doing. And so here I am in Arizona. First month in, so having some fun. Excited to get some of my baseball players back in my books once season's over.
Yeah. I have one guy in the big leagues, and I do some like arm care with him and do some stuff like that. But yeah, like it's a great, grounds here. We got all the spring training, and everyone comes to town, and it's definitely baseball player mecca, Arizona.
It really is. Beautiful area to play all that.
Oh, yeah. And so, I mean, like, are you familiar with the sport? Did you play a little bit of baseball and stuff like that too?
I played freshman, sophomore year.
Okay,
Played baseball.
Because like a lot of kids are multi-sport athletes, and so like, and then the variation really helps in your sport, and so
I was the only kid that could throw from left field to home plate, so that was why I made varsity.
Kid had an arm. Yeah.
Exactly. But that was it. I never saw the plate, never hit. I was just kind of just that guy in the outfield, and that was it. And I was okay with that. I had fun. I got like 3 balls hit to me like my entire first year. Yeah,
which
so, I was just chilling.
Yeah.
I got a letter from it. But just getting into like my Mariners players, and then getting into some of my Phillies players, I would watch them, and I really studied.
You're more studying the game as like as a coach, and like really learning the game.
Coach,
yeah.
So
that way.
Now I'm
as a fan,
I'm having 2 players actually. They just got released. They're injured. So they're getting back. One had Tommy John surgery, and the other one had some bolts put in his shoulders. So once they come back from their designated country that they're about to go to just kind of hang out a little bit until it's time to get into it, I've just been studying them literally for the past 4 or 5 days, watching film, kind of getting back into it. And my wife sports is not her thing. She absolutely hates sports.
Really?
So when she sees me, putting on YouTube on my TV and kind of just watching, she's like, "Are you watching baseball?" I was like, "Well,
I'm watching movement patterns." Okay. Well,
like,
first off,
like, you see that guy right there? He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "He signed a $17 million contract." I was like, "He's gonna get at least $100 million more this year." And she was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh yeah, he's good. He's just lazy." So I'm trying to figure out what I can do for him. I've him twice maybe, but he's excited to get back into things. And when I told him, I was like, "You could make way more money, dude. Like,
for sure.
Let's get it dialed in.
Market your product better, make a better product so that they, condition yourself down. Like you can sell this a lot better if you put it in like a better environment, right?
Exactly. So
and especially if you're gonna, it's with the way that money goes in baseball nowadays, which they might even have a lockout at the end of this year. So like you never know if that is all gonna change because of the Dodgers and buying billions of dollars of players. Oh my gosh,
must be nice.
Must be nice, right? So talk to me a little bit about baseball players and like injury recovery and some of the stuff you do with baseball players, because like I'm always doing rice buckets and I'm always doing a lot of like sledgehammer work. So talk to me about what you would do with a baseball player.
I give them that homework to do. I was like, dude, the basics. Like, do the basics. And it gets to that point where sometimes I have to tell them to take videos of them doing it to make sure that they're actually doing their work. Because like I said earlier, they're children.
Accountability.
Exactly. Like you have to do this. Like if you don't do it, guess what?
It's
you're
not
wasting your money. You're wasting
your body
my time.
Keeps the score. We all see it. What happens is like it. Nobody can run away from it.
Exactly.
Like it's always going to be in there.
Yeah.
But
my biggest thing is finding their weakest spots. Like with this, with the athletes that's gonna be coming back from the DR soon. When I was watching him pitch and throw, he's mentally he's kind of scared. He's throwing again, which is great. But again, from Tommy John surgery, like it's a mental battle that we're gonna have to fight. so he doesn't have the yips, and that as the last thing we want. So my biggest goal right now is to try and figure out how to break that mental barrier for him, to be able to focus a little bit. Be like, hey, listen, dude, like, you're great. Like, you just threw 102 miles an hour. It's there.
It's still in there.
It's there. But why are you going right into 102 to an 80 with the same exact pace? What's going on? Well,
block. He's scared to let it loose.
Exactly.
And it's because it's stuck in his nervous system, the injury. And so, like, again, I love nervous system stuff as we're hooked up to the newbie right now.
I'm like,
right?
I'm like moving, adjusting. I was like, it's feeling
getting
good.
that activation. But yeah, like everything, all our injuries live in our nervous systems, guys. And so, like, they remember everything that's ever happened to you. And so, like, once you get into similar situations, you brace or like you have a reaction to that. And then every time after that, when you get close to that situation again, like throwing a ball, you have that reaction to it until you retrain that pattern away and groove a new pattern that's better, right? And so that's what we're trying to do with this, right?
Exactly. And it's the hardest thing. Like having that mind muscle connection. Like I'm working with one of my clients now. He's a former pro. He was a coach for 10 years, so he's, retired, lived his life for 2 years, gained some weight, didn't take care of himself, but we're about a month and a half into training and he's already noticing a difference. And I was like, it's because your body has trained to be the best prime shape. And I told you,
it remembers it.
It's muscle memory. You're going to get back into things. We're not going to go heavy. You're friggin' 50 years old, dude. Like,
once we pump up some blood in there, all of a sudden it's going to wake up and you're going to feel strong enough to lift those heavy weights.
Exactly. And it's just kind of breaking that mental, especially for us athletes, man. It's like the worst thing to battle. People don't understand that. Like it's that mental. Like I had a career-ending injury too. So making sure that when I'm even just doing a normal run, like I'll run once a month.
What was your career-ending injury?
I pulled my groin completely off the bone.
Oh my gosh.
I had to relearn how to walk essentially.
Yeah.
And the doctors were like, dude, you're never going to play,
high level sports again, running with
ever. Exactly. So
that much like directionally challenged now.
Exactly.
I would
even to me, like running for me, I'm scared to actually get into running.
Still,
I have a lot of friends that are like, dude, you should do Ironman. I was like, heck no, man. I'm not gonna do no Ironman. Like you're crazy. I'm not gonna go run across Arizona. Like, like I will. That's
who's coming on next.
Yeah, I will ride a bike next to you before I do that.
For sure.
I have one of my friends that's out in Hawaii doing the Ironman in
World
Hawaii.
Championships.
Yeah. And he was like, I was helping him kind of get ready. So doing a lot of mobility with him, teaching him how to take care of himself. He's a multi-millionaire. Dude's a super smart guy, super fit, most fittest guy that I've probably ever had my hands on.
Always fun to train those ones too, especially because their Ironmen are like also kind of like easy coachable, and they work hard, and they're athletes.
Yeah, and so
nice.
Just taking care of him, to be able to get to that point to where he's doing world championships for Ironman, like good for him.
Sick.
Like loved it, and he was never an athlete growing up. So it's like, sweet dude, like good for you. Like I'm proud of you. Like this is awesome that you're able to do this.
Yeah.
And then there's me. I was like, let's see how it feels like to run a mile today.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool. I had a 9-minute 45-second mile. I was like, I'm proud of myself.
That's a good mile. That's cool.
I am pumped for being, going through what I did and kind of slowly getting back into things. And I was like, hey, I'll take it.
So instead of running and doing Ironman and doing all that stuff, what's your competitive itch? Where do you get that out? Where do you like compete in? What do you do your things with?
So I started bodybuilding. So I actually did my first show last year.
Nice.
I have a full story of why and what we do. But me and my wife did our first bodybuilding competition. I lost 85 pounds. I went from
amazing, dude.
From 260 to 177 on stage.
Let's go.
In 8 months. Ended up taking third place, 3rd, 5th, and 6th. So I was very, very proud of myself.
Congratulations. That's fucking.
And I knew that, I was like, hey, let's do this. My wife ended up doing her first shows, and she ended up nationally qualifying as well. So she has a show coming up in August to requalify for nationals for next year. Because the nationals this year fell on a clinical weekend for her. So if you miss the clinical in school, you're
priorities.
You can let go. Exactly. So I was like, listen, let's just do 1 or 2 shows here. Let's just nationally qualify for next year.
Yeah.
Then you have 2 years to essentially build.
You guys have
and
plenty
grow.
of time to still do bodybuilding, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. So
now with health technology, it's like bodybuilding's going like older and older too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm with her, she'll be in Masters this year, which is over 35 and up. Which is funny to say, Masters is 35.
Masters is 35 now?
I'm like,
whoa, dude.
I'm like, geez, how old am I? Like, what is
Yeah.
happening? So then next year I'll be in Masters as well.
That's
so
crazy.
It's
That's
like,
so
what
insane.
is happening?
Like-
So I took this year off just to kind of give my body a break because I lost 85 pounds in 8 months.
Yeah, that's
Seeing,
a tremendous
seeing
amount.
how my body reacts to being, 209 pounds at 13% body fat. Like I wasn't even like this when I was in college. So now my coach is playing with food, trying to figure out what my body likes, what my workouts like.
You're just trying to balance back out. You're just trying to figure it out.
in this industry, that's exactly what it is. It's a guessing game.
Yeah, and you just constantly reassess and you just keep going. And that's just like, that's their whole life.
You just pull the pin and throw it and see what happens.
Yeah.
And that's what my coach did last week. He's like, you know what? Let's up your carbs. And
Let's see what happens here. Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And then I'm leaner and I'm 206. So,
as long as you can be consistent with variables,
Yeah,
then you
exactly.
just change one little tweak and then we can actually see what happens.
Yep, exactly. So I'm in that industry now. There's a show this weekend. So I'm very deep into like Mr. Olympia in the NPC, the Whitney Jones Productions. So we actually have an award that we present at every bodybuilding show in Arizona that NPC holds. Possibly going to Olympia amateurs and doing the award as well. Out in Vegas. So fingers crossed we get that approved to be able to get out there and get on stage and
very nice
and honor a competitor. So
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
And then okay, so now you also have a nonprofit, and so let's get into that. And let's tell the whole story about everything. Yeah.
Whole story. All right.
Yeah, like I know, I know it's like
grab your tissues,
right?
So in 2023, one of my twin boys was diagnosed with cancer.
What kind of cancer?
It was called neuroblastoma.
Neuroblastoma.
So then it was considered a rare cancer. So he was only 1 of 10 in the country that had this cancer.
Oh my gosh.
So with this type, you have branches that you go off of. If this works, we go this way. If this works, we go that way because they're still trying to figure this out.
Yeah,
right?
it's all experimental at this point.
So in October 5th, he passed away.
I'm so sorry to hear, brother.
And Axel now has his own branch where he's been able to save 2 kids' lives because they know if this happens, this is what we do. So our nonprofit, we take care of the parents whose children are fighting that cancer.
No kid should ever have cancer.
Yeah. So we send the parents on date nights, staycations, getaways, trying to get in there a lot more, which we have access, which is awesome. We're one of the only nonprofits that have access to Phoenix children to be able to go in and do things because they understand like we're the only nonprofit like this in the country, which is why it's so hard to get grants because everyone and every company is like, oh, we help the kids. Like, yeah, I get it, but who's watching the kids? Who's there with their child?
Who takes care of the kids?
Who takes care of their families when they're there alone, with their child? We get so many no's. Knows this because if we open it up to you, we're gonna have to open it up more. I was like, no, I get it. Think about it. Think about adjusting of opening up your resources to cancer in general, just a generalized cancer treatment because parents need it.
Yeah, definitely.
We got it approved to build a respite room inside of Phoenix Children's Hospital.
Amazing.
It took me 1.5 years to get it approved, but we got it cleared to open up one on the 7th floor at Phoenix Children's. And we're going to take that and bring it to children's hospitals across the country. So we're going to take this blueprint and say, hey, listen, this is what we built at Phoenix. We would love to delegate a spot for you guys as well.
Can you explain what it encompass and what it would look like?
Respite room, it's a recovery room.
Yeah.
So massage chairs, red light therapy, compression sleeves.
Like a mini wellness center.
A mini wellness center inside the hospital for the parents to just escape for 5-10 minutes.
Like, what blows my mind is like hospitals seem to be like one of the most unhealthy looking places with like really bright blue lights and just like it screams like, oh, I don't want to be here as my body. Like I feel sick of just being in a hospital because it's just not a good place to live, like environmentally, right?
Exactly.
And so like having that wellness center, the extra red lights, like first off, why are we not red lighting all our patients? I don't get that. And so like that blows me away. But anyways,
we want to bring in, you know, healthier food options as well. You know, being a certified nutritionist, being there, that's how I gained all that weight. Being in the hospital for 8 months, having those cheeseburgers, the sushi, like it just wasn't good.
It should be food. It should be healthy nutrition.
Yeah,
that would make them heal faster.
Exactly. Like,
what?
Don't get me wrong, sushi's great, but
yeah,
after 8 months, it's
And we also have to learn like when. I love that like a lot more doctors are coming to train with us and do stuff like that because like I mean I coach an oncologist every like 5 days a week he's here and he's like one of my best clients but like you got to live that and you also have to understand how training and like that impacts blood sugar and all of these things that like if you're sitting in a hospital bed the whole time, well, obviously you have to change the diet up to fix that too.
Exactly.
Right. And so they just give them whatever comforts them and not what helps them and serves them.
Yeah. Which needs to be done.
Which needs to be done.
It's not proven, that, when the parents are taken care of, they give more love to that kid, but when it comes to cancer, again, there's no studies, but one out of 6 parents whose children are going through cancer end up in divorce.
I mean,
which shouldn't even be on the table.
No.
And unfortunately, in those like 1 of 6, it's like 60% chance more the child's not going to make it because they understand that love isn't there, and there's no tests on it. But
and the kids give up and then mentally side,
and the numbers, seeing, like, of course, they're not going to do studies.
Hopelessness.
And tests on
it's obvious.
Exactly. So once I started digging into it, I was like, we need something, So I'm working on this. So we sent to dinners. We sent 2 years ago, I think it was an anniversary of their 17-year-old son passing of cancer. Randomly got an email from, hey, can you reach out to these people about this? So hopped on the phone with her. They were talking about divorce. They have 2 other kids, high school kids. I don't know why, but we sent them on a cruise. I was like, do you guys have your passports? Like, yeah. They're like, cool, let's go on a cruise. And they were like, wait,
reset.
What? Completely paid for. Didn't want to do anything. They came back and she told us that I saved her marriage. And I had the opportunity to say, I didn't save your marriage. Axel saved your marriage. And Axel's with your son right now. Been seeing this and he knows, and it was just this whole thing of like,
this is how you help yourself grieve too, through helping others with 100%. This whole thing. Because I mean, like, obviously, like, as the parent of the kid with cancer is like, know where they're at and like you feel that, right? And so you're like, I don't even know why me,
If it wasn't, I feel like Felicia and I are brought to this for a reason, being able to work through this, and we still work. We have our bad days. Oh, trust me, we have our bad days, and it's been 3 years, but it's never going to get easy, and we don't want it to get easy, because if it does, that means that we're not going to push to help other parents.
The emotion is like what you're harnessing to help others, right? Like it's really powerful. Now, if you let it like wallow in it and then let it get to you, that's going to make you unhealthy. You're going to cope negatively.
Exactly.
But this is you coping in a way that helps, it serves you and serves everyone else around you.
And this was why we got into the bodybuilding industry, because Felicia's always wanted to do a show. So I said, you know what, let's do it. Like, here, do it.
Yeah.
She did it. She started bullying me into doing one. So then I did one, but we're healthier. We're both living great with showing our son.
Yeah, guys, these guys are both like, like fitness model looking people, like, shout out.
And with Hayden, Axel's twin brother, he sees it, and when we're watching stuff on Instagram or seeing stuff, he starts posing because he comes to the shows too. So he's a little 5-year-old.
And people don't understand that, like, kids just soak it in. Like, every young boy wants to be their dad at some point. And like, if they respect them, and and if they have been taught how to live the right way, and they see that it's working for them, like stuff like that, right? And they're gonna be just like you, right?
That needs to happen. Just
but it keeps you accountable, right? Like, so now 100%. I have to be my best dad, right?
You have to be. And I think that's why we do what we do. Not because we know, and seeing how the world is going right now in certain directions, like, we want to raise our son to understand like exactly what it means to be a good human, and not just, go work, school, do your thing. Like my son's already talking about joining the military.
He's like 5 years old.
He's 5 years old, but Felicia was in the army.
And so, he respects it.
So he sees it. He respects it. I have guns. Like I teach him about gun safety, and he sees, he's like, hey dad, you need to put your gun away. I was like, oh yeah, dude, sorry. Even though it's like in the middle of our island, it's in the holster. And I was like, oh yeah, thanks dude. Good looks, and I'll give him knuckles and I'll put up on the top shelf. And, but he'll be like, hey dad, can we play army and we'll just clear the house? But it's like he's like, hey, and he would just like throw random signs up in the air. I was like,
yeah, you just play along. Yeah, I love
it. But it's like teaching him that like that responsibility, and he's 5 and he can make his own chicken nuggets. He makes his own cereal. Like he does so many things.
Independent little human.
He really is. And a lot of people are like, hey, how do you get your kid to sleep? And I'm like, that's on him.
Yeah.
Like he's been sleeping the whole night. Like we were blessed to have, from when we brought them home, they both slept the whole night.
What a lifestyle. I don't think any parents get that.
No, yeah, like granted they'd get up for like feeding and stuff, but
they're babies.
Was never like screaming fits or anything like that. So it was wild, but as a dad, seeing these kids, I was like, listen, like I gotta stop, dude. Like, but I speak to him like an adult, and he's a child, so he'll get sad.
I love that concept, speaking to the kid like an adult, because like honestly, that's what you need to do. Most at least one of the parents, like needs to be doing it. Like sometimes like they go, oh baby voice, but they treat them like they're not as significant that way, and the kid feels that, and he understands that he's like, I'm lesser right now
because
no,
I don't talk that way to my wife.
Exactly, you don't talk that way to her. You respect her.
I don't hit my son, but I'll raise my voice. If he does something, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, just to talk to him, I'm like, oh, honey, stop. I'm just like, dude, stop. Grow up. Like, you're 5 years old, and to them, they're like, yeah, because he just turned 5. So now he's like, oh, yeah, I'm 5.
Yeah. Now he's all confident and cocky. And then all of a sudden he gets knocked down a peg. And then you got to teach him where he's at. And then,
exactly.
And then build it back up.
Yeah, 100%. It's just teaching them, they're kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're going to do stuff. They're going to make stuff spill. We'll clean them up. I'm not going to yell at him for everything, but he's a kid when he's doing stuff that we tell him not to. And like he has this weird thing about smacking our butts. Now he just run through and just smack
he thinks it's funny.
Butts.
Yeah.
And he thinks it's the best, but my wife hates it. It's like her biggest. She threw a protein bottle at me because I walked by and I smacked her in the butt. And she ended up throwing a protein jug at me.
Where'd he get it from?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know where he got that from. Weird. But it's
That's hilarious.
like I know it, but it clicked. And I was like, oh. Got it.
Yeah.
So he's teaching us as well to be like, okay, I get it. Granted, she just chucked the protein bottle at me, but it was fine. I deserved it.
Yeah.
And he laughed. He thought it was hysterical.
That's awesome.
But that's just how you got to do with kids.
Yeah, I love it. And so when you're raising a kid, and like, where do you pull from like morality? Do you have a faith? Do you have like a rooted background? And like, where do you learn all this from? Your parents.
So I never grew up with a dad.
Okay.
So right now, I always tell myself, what would my dad not do? And I would do it. I never met him. He's lied to me twice, even though I've never met him. He wanted to meet me twice and said he had Lyme disease, and then I never went. But then his wife at the time ended up divorcing him for that reason. And so I've never met my dad, but I want to be the best example, and I want to be what my dad never was.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay. I get it now.
I'll take him with me. Like when Axel was going through his treatment, I was a stay-at-home dad. For the 8 months and then 2 years after, so he's like my little shadow, but I don't want to take full responsibility for how he is, but I feel like it is the man's responsibility to kind of be more present, and I've noticed a lot, like I've done studies on millennial dads. We're more present in our kids' lives than past, which is great. Love it. Like that's a great start, but let's do more, like me and my family, we take a trip once a year. Last year, me and my wife went to Turks and Caicos. The year before, we went to Hawaii. And now this year, since Hayden's gonna be turning 6, he's gonna be coming with us to Hawaii. When my wife graduates, that's her graduation present. So it's kind of like bringing him. It's his growing up present of, hey, listen, you're gonna be 6, so now everything is like, hey, when you come with us on our trip, you need to listen. We need to do this. We need to do that. X, Y, Z. What do you do if this?
It's another level of like, just, growing and learning how to be in the world,
Yeah.
And teaching him those things, step by step.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you're creating a framework for him. Yeah. And that was, interesting. And so, and then who do you ask for advice, or like, who do you go to for advice? You just do it off you and your wife.
I just do what I feel right. Whatever it may be, kind of like that gut feeling. Like with you have, like, I always tell
your
Felicia,
intuition.
She has her mom instincts, with it's just that instincts that moms have, dads,
maternal.
We have the same things, but we don't listen to them.
But it's different.
It's more of like, the animal kingdom type of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very protective of my family. Mm-hmm. And Felicia knows, like, if anything comes in between our family, I cut them off. Or something will happen, and that's just what I've told myself. Like, this is my entire world, and I'm going to make sure they're safe, hence why I train with weapons. And, to
protect your family.
Just have to.
It's a good why.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good reason to, make sure that you take care of them. And I love it. And so we're rolling up on that like last 10 minutes here. And so I want to make sure that we, get to any last pieces that you want to say before, you get out of here. Mm-hmm. And so anything that you're really passionate about in the industry and things you want to, like, tell people about right now?
There's so much going on right
now.
There's, different social media is 80% fake.
Artificial intelligence nowadays.
100%.
It's so crazy.
100%.
Like, and I mean, I'm part of that because I'm like integrating it into my stuff.
Yeah.
And it's weird because you're like, how much should I integrate? And you're like, I want to help. I like the tool and I like the availability to do more, but I also don't want to be ingenuine with it and show people like I genuinely know what I'm talking about too.
Yeah. My biggest thing that I've noticed is, people will say, oh, well, I'll just get it from AI. I was like, yeah, I mean, that's a great starting point. But what are you going to do after that?
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to be, bench pressing, what happens if the weight's going to crush your neck? Is AI going to help you? Or are you going to have one of us trainers kind of get you to that spot weight-wise to push you to really see where your standards are?
Yeah, for sure.
It's tough. Like, I'm just starting out here, and I'm lucky enough to still have connections in NFL, NBA, and the Major League Baseball program to have clients come back to me. But having normal clients, it's very tough to be like, hey, listen, like, dynamic stretch, like, I'm a dynamic stretch therapist. Like, people don't understand how important it is. They come in for a session. Oh man, I haven't felt this good in forever. Great, awesome. When am I going to see you next? Oh, well, I'm just going to go to a massage therapist. Oh yeah, that's awesome. When are you going to come see me next?
Yeah.
Oh, well, when are you going to come see me next? And it's just kind of having people understand this is, being hands-on is always going to be more beneficial than going into ChatGPT.
For sure.
Write me a workout for a push-pull legs with my weight is this, my goals are this. Like, cool, yeah, that's a great.
I think there's like an advantage to like someone maybe like he was a high school athlete and he did train with lots of trainers before, mm-hmm. like, and he's trying to like just like hash out his program and be like more of a journal for him instead of him doing that. But like for a brand new person, like you shouldn't be like trusting fully that the AI knows what it's talking about physiology and whatnot. Yeah, like,
and then with all these peptides that are out and people different spectrums of the same thing. I have people asking me all the time. Like, I have a peptide company as well, and I've studied them for 2 years, and we've spent so much money on actually doing research on it. And it's not just, oh yeah, I found a thing in China, I'm just gonna buy them, sell them, and see what I see on Instagram and sell it. No, that's not how it works.
We need high quality, exactly, good tested stuff. That's not. I would take myself. Yes,
I was a lab rat. Everything that we have, I've taken.
Okay, perfect.
And I tell people that all the time. I was like, I would not give you anything that I wouldn't put myself.
All right, give me the 10-second peptide rundown.
Oh,
just hit them all real quick. One thing, one word.
It depends on your goal.
Yeah. So
100%. Like,
for sure.
I have clients that have lost 65 pounds on them. My mom is down 30 pounds, and she shunned me for a while because she found out from my ex-wife that, we had anabolics and everything, but all my clients were Arnold competitors. They were Mr. Olympia.
You guys are in bodybuilding. It's part of the world. It's different when
Exactly.
you're not like in the world and it's like, you're in a WADA, like competition that's like, do you see the enhanced games the other day? Yeah, that's wild too. And it actually was pretty kind of a flop too.
It was. I mean, it's different. Like,
but how do you teach someone on steroids to have good work ethic too?
Exactly, 100%. Because it doesn't matter. Like, a lot of people say it's cheating.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. But guess what? They're healthy. I make all my clients get their blood work done.
Yes.
And I will look at their blood work and say, hey, listen, like, have you thought about taking TRT? Well, no. You should, because your test is at 200.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that my son's testosterone levels are higher than yours. So let's work on this, and it's don't just hop in because you see some social media influencer promoting stuff. Everything isn't made for you. Everything that you would take is different than what I would take, than what, my baseball players shouldn't be taking, but guess what? They're going to take it. But it's just be careful. Be cautious. Don't just start putting stuff in your body because you saw someone, do it. Yeah. Take the right steps. Talk to someone who actually understands. Talk to someone
in the field.
Exactly. And just like, I have people message me all the time. They ask me questions. I'll answer them 100%. Then, well, how much should I take? I was like, I don't know. I haven't seen your blood work done. Well, so-and-so said this. Okay. Go for it. I'm not going to tell you to do that. Well, why not?
Because it's not for you. It's not what you need. Like,
I don't know you, dude.
Yeah, I need to get there with you first before we I don't know what this is.
And it's never my first option either. It's my biggest rule is I don't talk to anyone unless they ask me about it. If they want to do things, naturally, great, awesome. I'm not gonna be like, hey, you should take, the R word. You should take,
right. Oh no, that's always a very questionable one.
You should take, no. Like, if you're gonna ask me, what are your goals?
Educate you.
Exactly. Yeah. What are you trying to accomplish? Do you have any injuries? No. Why are you taking that?
All right. So since you're a peptide guru, for me, what about Semax and Selank?
I've taken Selank. I think it's a great option for people who want to hop off of the ADHD medication that has a ton of negative side effects.
Okay.
I have 2 or 3 people that have switched over to Selank. They've noticed a huge difference. Calming, they're more relaxed. They're not having to take, their AED medication that, ended up, doctors like, oh, just go up more. And I was like, no, like, if you need to go up more, you need to stop.
Something else is happening. People don't understand the trade-off when it comes to ADD medication. There's a trade-off, and and I had this conversation with one of my clients this morning because she said she had to be on it. When I hear the word "had," it blows me away when people don't think that they have to be on anything that was made by humans.
Yep.
And then I'm like, ADD medication is there is a trade-off to it, and she's asking me about all of her health concerns, and I'm like, this is what happens when you take too much stimulants.
Yep.
This is what happens when you don't eat enough food and you take too much stimulants.
Wait, so you had 6
osteoporosis?
You've had 6 cups of coffee in one meal, and it's 3:00 and you're anxious?
Crazy.
Weird,
right?
Like, I wouldn't say addicted to, but Adderall was in my regimen when I was, 250, huge, but I was also in the gym for 3 hours, and that's why I took it. But it started to be like, I had to have it, like what you were saying, to get a good workout. And that's when I knew I had to stop.
My dopamine needs to reset. Like, there's a lot of things going on up here in the brain chemistry that we are also messing with. Yep. And then there are some people that have been on it for so long that they have like irreparable damage that they need to still be on it to function straight. And I totally believe that. Yeah. But I don't think that if you're a new patient that has ADD or ADHD, you probably should focus on your diet, your nutrition, your sleep, and then like your exercise protocols, and then work on how to breathe. There's like 100 other things that you need to do first before you put your kid on ADD medication, and parents are lazy.
Absolutely.
And that's real.
And that's the thing. Like, I had kids recently reaching out about peptides, and I was like, stop. You are a young kid. Do not start. Well, I want to get into bodybuilding. Cool. Let's see what your body can give us naturally. And then if you choose to go that next route to step on stage somewhere else, that's where I always tell people, hey, what's your long-term goal? Oh, I just want to be healthy. Cool. You don't need any of this.
Then you don't need any of this stuff.
Here's your food. Drink your water. Get your workouts in and get good sleep.
Hey, and once you do all of those check boxes, then come back and talk to me, and we can actually have this conversation. But if you're not even doing those things, then I wouldn't even ever want you on any of that things. Yeah.
I make all my clients promise me that they will get their nutrition down. They'll drink a gallon of water a day, and they'll at least get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And I was like, you have to promise me this. These are my 3 contingencies before we go on. Like, okay, let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. What are you going to eat? I go right into their nutrition. I don't even talk about, peptides with them when they bring it up. It's like, all right, cool. Do you want to do macros? You want to do meals? What works best for you?
Yeah. How are you going to get you there?
And then that's when we kind of go along. All right, do this for 3 days. And I don't even bring up peptides again.
I love it. That's great. That's exactly how genuine selling is, and against someone who's like trying to just sell you something to make money, right?
I see it so much,
and that's the new market now. Like not our market is aware of that, and so like people don't like to be sold anymore. They want you to be like, are you helping me or are you not helping me? And that's like that's it. But my friend, I think we're rolling up on that time. So any last words before we get you out of here?
No, just be better.
Be better, guys. Be better.
Be better. Don't suck.
Don't suck. I love it, brother. Well, thanks again. And guys, we'll catch you guys next week on The Price for Paradise. My name's Woody, and aloha.
We're out.
Thank you, dude.
Of course.
That was awesome. Thanks for going deep about, everything. Because that's always, hard to talk about.
It gets me motivated, though.
Yeah.
I get motivated to talk about because it's my why.
It's your big why.
That's my reason for being on this earth, is to helping other people, and being able to do what I can to help these parents. Is like, if I get the opportunity to sit behind a mic and talk to someone who's like-minded, to really change lives,